Welcome to Mariners Fan Central.
We all know how hard it is to compete here in the Northwest against the rest of the division, but a fan's patience has its limits. What's up, Mariners Nation? Today's news hits us right where it hurts. It's no secret to anyone that our team has an elite starting rotation. A luxury, right? But what about the offense? Do you also feel like it disappears in crucial moments? That we always have to beg for runs? That's a question that haunts us every year. And now, a trade simulation is pouring gasoline on that fire. A rumor that makes you think, is this for real? Again? Go ahead and hit that like button if you also trust our pitchers but are begging for better hitters, because what comes next might drive you crazy. I swear, when I read it, my first reaction was, no, please, not again. The trade simulation was talking about sending our very own Luis Castillo, La Piedra, to the Atlanta Braves. In return, we would receive catcher Sean Murphy and pitching prospect Owen Murphy, an all-star catcher and a promising young arm. On paper, it makes sense, right? We need a backup for Raleigh, a guy who can share the workload, and maybe even free up Cal to hit more as a DH. But then comes the fan trauma. We Mariners fans have seen this story before. We develop a top-tier pitcher, an ace, and then he leaves. It's almost a curse. We get attached to Castillo, to that dominant presence on the mound, to the feeling of security when he's out there. And now, this simulation throws in our face the possibility of losing him. I know Sean Murphy is good, that he can add a lot. But at what emotional cost? Is it worth giving up a pillar of the rotation for that? It's the eternal seesaw of our team. Pitchers flying high, offense limping along, and now the team would be thinking about breaking what works to fix what doesn't. Let's look at this with a cooler head, from a strategic standpoint for both teams. The Braves, for example, are dealing with a serious rotation problem. Complicated injuries to guys like Spencer Schwellenbach and Hurston Waldrep. Suddenly, they're short on arms. For them, acquiring a pitcher of Castillo's caliber, a proven all-star, would be a huge deal. He would arrive as a key piece, behind names like Chris Sale and Spencer Strider. He's an arm that delivers consistent results, one that proved himself in Seattle, even though the stadium is a paradise for pitchers. For them, it's a clear solution to an urgent need. Quick break. A lot of people ask me how I analyze games. I left a link in the description for the material I use. Moving on. For the Mariners, the reasoning would be, we solve the catcher situation once and for all with Sean Murphy. He would be the immediate backup to Cal Raleigh, but with the potential for more, maybe giving Raleigh more time as a designated hitter, boosting our firepower. And Owen Murphy still comes along, a young pitcher who would enter our already talented minor league system, a bet on the future. The fifth spot in the rotation? Well, we have options like Emerson Hancock, Cooper Criswell, or even prospects who had strong spring training showings like Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? A plan that tries to balance the roster. So, the question that remains for you, the fan, is this. Would this trade, even if it's just a simulation, solve more problems than it creates? Would you sacrifice one of your most reliable pitchers to get an all-star catcher and a prospect? It's a risk. It's always a risk to break apart the best thing we have, our rotation, in the hope of fixing the offense. Would we finally find the long-dreamed-of World Series by doing this? Or would it be one more of those trades that makes us cry afterward? That's the eternal Mariners dilemma. But I want to know your opinion. Leave a comment telling me what you thought of this simulation. Would you make this trade? What would be your biggest fear? Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and let's root together for better days in Seattle. Take care and go Mariners!